Happy New Year! It's January 6th, 2025, and time for your Monday market update. Thanks for watching. Let's take a quick look at your Montgomery County numbers for the last 7 days. We have 85 new listings. We had 64 under contract, 51 closed sales, 37 price changes, 8 expireds, and 25 currently on the private network. So obviously, numbers are a little low right now. It's the first week back from the holidays. Many people just returning to work today, coming back from vacations and whatnot. But we do have some indications indicating that 2025 is going to be a great year for real estate, with pending contracts up year over year, better than both 2023 and 2024. So we're starting the year stronger than we have the last 2 years. Obviously, still nothing near the numbers of 2022, but given that interest rates have been up since September, that is a really good sign for our year. Most people are settling into the notion that we will not see 4% interest rates probably ever again. Certainly not this year. Most estimates are indicating that rates will be closer to high 5s, mid 7s through this year. And there is some speculation that we could even see 8% again this year. So everyone that I've been talking to is waiting for interest rates to come down. And my question is, well, what if they go up? January is typically a great time for buyers to enter the market. There is less demand. There is typically less inventory, but there's less demand. So therefore, you typically have more price reductions in January and February. You have a little bit more negotiating power. It can be a much better time for buyers to enter the market, which is why we are doing our first time home buyer seminar on Wednesday this week at 6 o'clock at Duke's Ale House. So if you know anybody who's thinking about entering the housing market this year, that would be a great thing for them to attend. Or even if you are thinking about buying a home this year, even if you're not a first-time home buyer, maybe it's been a few years, it might be a really beneficial thing to attend. Housing Wire is a resource that I look at every morning to talk about to be up to date on what's happening in the housing industry. And they are talking about today that our spring market actually started in November, because we've had pending contracts going up every single week since November. Now we still have low inventory, obviously, to meet the demand. We don't have enough homes to go around. We need about 4 to 6 months inventory to maintain a fair and stable market. We are nowhere near that. We're at about 1.5 months inventory still, and we have been pretty consistently over the last couple of years. However, in January and February, you tend to have a little bit more negotiating power because we do tend to have a little bit less demand. But that being said, we still have more pending contracts this January than we did the last 2 years. So that is a great indication for what we can expect in 2025. Mortgage rates are up 1% from September. Now they're holding steady. They've been pretty steady. They're at about 6.75, 6.8. Some people are still getting 7%, but they're in that range. And they've been in that range pretty consistently. So we do have some indications that rates could go down, but to be honest, guys, they're pretty much going to stay the same. Mortgage rates are not going to do a whole heck of a lot anytime soon. There's some speculation that mortgage rates could hit the high 5s this year, but we don't know. And you know what? They could go up. Every time we've thought that the rates were going to come down in 2024, they actually went up. So a lot of what's driving the mortgage rates is, well, the whole thing that drives the mortgage rates is the 10-year treasury, and that has been higher. And then also the jobless claims are going to impact the 10-year treasury. We've had jobless claims that have been indicating that the unemployment rate is still very low. People are holding on to their jobs. And in order to have a recession, or in order to have lower interest rates, we need to have the jobless reports come back higher, and that has not happened. So therefore, the mortgage rates are holding pretty steady in the high 6s, low 7s. The national single-family inventory started 2025 with 27% more inventory than 2024. So that's a national number. So in our local area in Montgomery County, we are not seeing huge increases in our inventory. However, nationwide, we are seeing it pick up a little bit. And I do think that we will see more inventory in 2025, and we'll see more transactions overall. If you're a buyer, make sure that you are talking to a lender and a realtor right now. Right now is when you need to plan, because if you get into the housing market in March and April, you are behind the ball, And May is typically when we see the highest sale prices. So if you're a seller and you're not a buyer somewhere else, so if you're just selling, then May would be your best time to get on the market, or April, May. We see the highest sale numbers actually in June, but that's a result of what went under contract in April or May. So that is the best time to put your house on the market. However, if you are also a buyer, that is typically when you're also going to pay the most, because that is, the school year is going to be the main indicator of when people want to move. So most people do want to move in the spring to get a house and get moved over the summer months so that they can be in the house by the start of the school year. So that is always going to be the peak in every year. But right now we're seeing a really strong start to 2025. Interest rates are holding steady. They're not really going anywhere. We don't really expect much movement this year, maybe a little, but it's not going to be a huge indicator. As I always say, you're better off getting the house under contract at a good price and then refinancing your loan, because the price that you pay is the price that you pay. Once you pay that price for the house, you can't change it. Your mortgage rate you can change. So keep that in mind as you're thinking about your plans for 2025. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.